I took a call from the Queen, the only time I ever took a call from her on a mobile phone. I realised this was a moment of huge significance.
In the early 70s, people were being murdered so regularly. You heard on the news that in the morning of somebody being killed, by lunchtime it was somebody else. The agreement ended a conflict that had gone on for all of my adult life.
It offered hope not just to people in Northern Ireland, but to people throughout the world.
It was an agreement that found accommodation.
I grew up in a border town in Newry in the 60s, and during most of my school years everything was peaceful and normal until I came to my A-level year when the terrorist campaign broke out. And when I was doing my A-levels, in the middle of my exams, I can remember helicopters landing in the playing fields.
For 30 years, consecutive years, just the level of everyday bombings, shootings, murders, horrific undermining of normal society. People getting up in the morning, having to check under their cars for explosives.
Our worry is whether there's anyone under that rubble, because I don't know whether you've seen it, but it's pretty awful.
Knowing that in the pit of your stomach you wouldn't be sure whether your husband would come home at night, or whether some nasty bomb would have blown a town centre to smithereens. That was what life was like.
Before I came to office, the previous Prime Minister, John Major, had made some progress. But unfortunately, the ceasefire had broken down, the thing was in disarray. But I could see from what he had done that there was the possibility that you could make peace.
The key talks process started really in the 1990s, and it took a long time, a very, very long time.
The moment when we realised we had the agreement, and then we almost immediately went out and announced it, because it had been such a roller coaster. I thought that if we delayed it for a second announcing it, it might all fall apart again. We'd been at it for 3 days and nights, but it was only really when a little bit later after we'd made the announcement of the agreement, and I took a call from the Queen, the only time I ever took a call from her on a mobile phone, I realised this was a moment of huge significance.
I'm pleased to announce that the two governments and the political parties of Northern Ireland have reached agreement.
We see this agreement, this treaty, as addressing the wounds that have damaged our society and ensuring that our diverse traditions attract respect, and above all, as laying the foundations for a healthy, vibrant democracy.
For us guys who were doing this 25 years on, it's now all about no longer our generation, it's about the rising generation. The opportunities, I think, are immense if they embrace this work and move forward. And I think that's the big change that we can see here.
It means peace, it means a future for this part of the world, for this part of the United Kingdom, a peaceful future and prosperity.
During the Troubles, there was bombs in the United Kingdom, there was bombs in London, there was bombs in Dublin. People were killed everywhere, but most of the devastation was within Northern Ireland itself. And I think what the benefit of the Good Friday Agreement for Northern Ireland society was able to get back to normal life, people back to education, universities, developing jobs, investment, peace, security.
When you come to Northern Ireland today and you remember what it was like when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s and 90s, you can see the difference the Good Friday Agreement has made. I remember visiting Belfast in the 1980s, barbed wire everywhere, police patrolling the streets, a sense of anxiety and worry across the city. You come to it today and it's a thriving European city. The economy of Northern Ireland's doubled. It's got good technology, good tourism. Sure, it's got its fair share of problems, but it's got opportunity.